Hey all, buddy FTRV, how you doing? Old Vandy Van Gogh back here. This video is going to be an installation video. We received some 5-inch light pods from MICTUNING lighting. We're going to put them on the front of Old Vandy Van Gogh. Once we get these light pods installed, we're going to go from this to this. And of course, we will take it on the road to show you how bright these are and how they kind of function. All right, well, stay tuned. Okay, welcome back. We're going to take a look at the MICTUNING 5-inch LED light pods with turn signals and daytime running lights. So this is what they've sent us. Your instruction manual, user manual. There's some of your wiring harnesses. These wires, according to the manual, are for your daytime running lights and your turn signals. So we'll just have to like tap into something that comes on with the ignition and then the turn signals themselves. Here's another little wiring harness. And here are the lights themselves. I'm gonna leave that on for now, but they have covers. These are the amber colored. So you got amber and you got some turn signals and daytime running lights here. And your brackets and your hardware. First things first, we're gonna disconnect the battery for safety purposes, and we're gonna decide where on the front of Old Vandy Van Gogh we want these to go. So we've picked a spot, but what we're gonna do is, I think I'm gonna kind of roughly run the wires to make sure they fit correctly. And we'll probably test out the lights first before I do any drilling in the bumper. It has gotten really hot out here. Sorry if I don't look great, but what we've done now is I attached the relay here close to the battery. This is the wire. We zip tied it along here in through the firewall to get to the switch to turn the lights on and off. So that's set up inside. We'll take a look at that later. Next things next is actually running the wires to where the lights are going to go, which I know we have plenty of wire to do that. So I think now we'll just mark and drill the holes for the actual lights themselves in the bumper. So let's do that next. All right, we got the brackets installed. First things first, we made sure they would fit. You do have a little bit of play as far as your angle up and down, and I got a curve on my bumper, so I had to put it somewhere where I can angle it up. And make sure you check underneath, obviously for wires and things, but I've got a brace to the bumper right here, and I originally was going to put it right there, so make sure there's nothing in the way when you do this drilling. All right, let's get the lights on. What I like to do is I set up my bolts in advance, get all the washers on, that way they're ready to go. Makes it a little bit easier. I'm not going to tighten these, I'm just going to leave them loose for now. We'll adjust when we need to. But you're going to want to make sure your lights are on correctly, so your side lights are obviously on the side rather than up and down. So the next thing we're going to do is hook up the turn signal, which is the yellow wire that goes to your turn signal, and the white wire would be your daytime running lights. I don't know that I'm going to do that. I may just put a zip tie around it and just leave it in there for now, maybe work on it later, because that has to go to something that is coming on when the car is turned on. Maybe if you got to your power to your radio or something, but that's what the white would be for. So we're going to do the yellow, the turn signal. I think I'm going to work on that next. Got the turn signal off. Basically what you can do is you can remove the light, and you got 3 wires here. You can get yourself a multimeter like this. They're pretty cheap. If you don't know how to use it, there's plenty of YouTube videos on how to use it, but we're just going to check for DC power to the turn signal. So I've taken off the side marker, I popped the light bulb out, And then I took the light bulb all the way out of the wires, and I just used the multimeter to find out which one was the turn signal. You'll know because your parking light will be a consistent voltage, and your turn signal voltage will obviously go on and off as your turn signal blinks. So on the Ford van, it is the outside wire. On the left side, it's green. I don't know what it is on the right, but we're going to tap into that green wire with the yellow wire. Of course, it appears I picked another hot day to do this, but I had to get it done. Let me show you what it did. It's all complete. I just got to put the van back together. And I got to tighten these up. So I'll show you the end result. But basically, I had to loosen up my grill to get underneath with the wire. And let's go over to the passenger side. What I did on both sides, what I'm going to show you here on the passenger side is, you see the yellow wire, that's for our turn signal. So I ran it through, came out and spliced it in with the turn signal wire. And like I said before, I used a meter to test what wire was for the turn signal, which was the outside white wire on the passenger side, and I just spliced into that. All right, again, sorry for the sweat, but let's get the van put all back together, get these lights adjusted, and I'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll look at it again tonight. Oh, by golly, it is hot. Oh my goodness, it is hot. I am dying out here. Let's just kind of go over what we did. I'm going to get close to everything, kind of how I did it and in what sequence. First off, you can do this either way. You can either figure out where you want to put them. What I did was I kind of laid out the wires, make sure they fit, which there was plenty of wire they fit. Kind of laid those out first, decided how I was going to run them. Then the switch that goes inside the cab. You got to go through the firewall somehow. So let me show you what I did. I ended up having to take some parts off, took off the air filter so I could see in more. I had to take this panel off, and then I loosened up the the grill to get the wiring done. But basically, I found a screw here for my relay, an existing screw. So I put the relay there. It has to be close to the battery because the wires are short. And then here's my switch wire. I ran it through, zip tied it along with some other wires. Then I went into the engine bay, the doghouse. Let me show you what I did inside. You can see part of my doghouse here, and the rest of it's back on. But basically, I opened that, cleared, made sure everything was clear. I came under here and I had to drill a 1-inch hole. Oops, right there. And I put one of these rubber bushings in there so the wire will not fray over time. As far as inside with the actual switch, you have to do a 1-inch hole to get the connectors through. I guess you could probably get away with something a little smaller if you're running the male end through, but the male end is connected to your switch. So I wanted to make sure I had this connection inside, so I had to put the female through. This was a church van. It is 21 years old, so I got wires everywhere. This had a TV in it at one point, an alarm system, so there's just wires everywhere. Now I'm going to clean up the inside, get it back together, and decide where I want to mount this. Did I mention that it's hot out? Anyways, what I decided to do is I'm just going to leave the switch here. I'm not going to, it does have double-sided tape to put it somewhere. I just don't know where I want to put it right now. And some of that is like soft plastic, so I don't know if it would stick to it. So I'm going to just leave it there for now. But I zip tied all the wires up underneath. Now remember, let's turn them on. Red for off, green for on. Just remember, these MICTUNING 5-inch light pods are wired directly to the battery. So if you have them on, they're gonna stay on. And it is noon actually, middle of the day, summer, and they are bright. I mean, I can't even look into them. I think the biggest thing I'm interested in is those side lights. They're gonna light up the side of the road great. Can't wait to see that. We are gonna view again tonight. Let's put old Vanny Van Gogh in the auxiliary position, turn on our turn signal, and take a look at that. Yeah, look at that. let's check out the hazards. Okay, one more time with the lights and the hazards on. The MICTUNING 5-inch light pods. If you like videos like this, install videos or travel videos, camping videos, that's what we do here at FTRV. Subscribe, share with your friends, comment. We love reading those comments, and give this video a thumbs up if it helped. That's gonna really help out our channel. All right, here we go. It is dark, we're on the road in old Vanny Van Gogh. We're gonna check out MICTUNING light pods. Here we go. Oh yeah. Look how much farther to the sides you can see with these. Let's do it with the high beams. Yeah, even with the high beams, it's almost like it pushes the high beams out farther. I am going to adjust them up a little bit, but they are definitely so much brighter. I'm going to go down this side road here. Let's check it out without the headlights on. Yeah, I mean, I can see the whole road. So that's just the MICTUNING light pods. And here we are with the headlights. And I love that it expands not only distance, but from left to right. I mean, I can see so far off the side of the road, which is great where I live, because we have a lot of deer that come out early in the morning and early in the evening. All right, let's see here. I'm gonna try to look in the camera and see what that's gonna show. No lights. So there we got just the headlights. And there you have the light pods. Just don't even look at the stream. Look around outside of the light stream. Got a street sign coming up on the left. Yep, look at that, you can see it. Yes, what an improvement. Thank you, MICTUNING, for sending these out. They're great. A little adjustment tomorrow and they'll be that much better. Thanks again. All right, all, thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Subscribe, share with your friends, comment, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye now.